Hi, everybody. I'm just going to invite Walter. One second. There we go. Hello, Hadis, Naimad, Vladimir. Hey, say hi. Jomaga94. Carl, hi, Carl. Hello. Where are you coming from? I look like I'm 23. Thank you. Thanks. Hi, Carl. How are you doing? Carl, guess what? I fixed my fridge thanks to you. You are a godsend. Mwah, thank you. I spent an entire day. I yanked out the fridge from behind the wall. I cleaned the grossness that was underneath it and behind it. I scrubbed everything, and it was pretty bad. It was gross. And then my dad told me to bicycle pump the tube, whatever that tube was called. I taped it with what did I use? Packaging tape, and I pumped out the water. And then yeah. Thanks, Carl. You're the best. Hi, Walter. Are you there? Yeah. So Carl, thank you for saving me $1,000 for a new fridge. Okay. All right. Hello, Yavar Meidipur. I never know how to pronounce these names. Okay, so
Hello.
Hey, Walter. Cutthroat. Hello, Cutthroat. Elias Paganini. Hello. Diane Kramachmanov. Yeah,
Hello.
Hi, I'm just saying hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Camilla Violinist Abdelife to Yachi. Hi.
Enko, wow,
Maestra
Maestro
Hannah and
Hannah.
Ho Ho.
Nice to see you, Maestro Hannah.
Sarah Dragan, hello. Diane Kramana,
Oh,
Harry, waiting
with
on
Carl,
Basar, Mara
Moral.
PhD.
Hi.
Hi. I'm hanging out on the
Um,
couch. I'm gonna be really cozy today. LB.F, hi. How you doing, Walter?
oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for, accepting the invitation for a new, chit chat
Oh yeah.
on on things that are happening around the music world and more specifically the violin art. So for those who doesn't know, this is Dr. Lynn, and probably everyone knows that, and she is pretty famous around Europe and Canada and United States. Right. I tried yesterday. I do very much apologize. I tried yesterday to make a little bio of you. So it turned out it wasn't exactly correct, as you said. So I went to your website, and did that job. So if anyone wants of you to know more about Dr. Lynn, please follow the link on her bio and go visit her website. It's actually amazing. I was reading yesterday quite a lot until I get all the stories she's telling about herself. It was really good to read all, the life story. It's actually a website that a website that you can see a true progress throughout the years, practically. It was very interesting.
Here, I'll put it in the chat if people are. There's my website. Pretty easy to remember. LynnKUO.com. Hi,
Yes.
Hoda, Lu, Hui, LB.F, Mehdi, Mehdi Mahmoud, Ali Reza Farsi. Nice to meet everybody. What's the topic about? You know what? It's pretty open. It's Q&A. Morgana Vialdino. Hi. Walter123. Hi. I can't read Farsi. Ali Reza Farsi. I can't read Farsi.
Well, we will be very, appreciate if you write in English, as we both are native in English. I'm born in Germany. For those who doesn't know, I'm born in Germany in two English-German family. And after a while, I've studied with a few teachers, let's just say it this way, traveled around the world, visited and worked in over more than 28 countries. By specialty, I am orchestral and choral conductor and violin performer. So that's about me. If you would like, you may probably go and visit my website as well. So what are we going to point out today is about certain difficulties, challenges young musicians face while they're practicing or they're preparing for a concert, a stage fright, and everything that Dr. Lynn can tell us. Tell us first a few words about you and what you do.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I have collected a few questions here. But first,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So thanks for submitting all your questions. I hope the ones that submitted their questions are here because I will answer them first. So I'm Lynn, and I am Canadian, and I'm in Toronto right now, where I normally work for the National Ballet of Canada Orchestra. So I'm a pit musician in the orchestra, and I literally just got my 20-year anniversry pin for
Oh,
the pin.
congratulations on
Thanks.
your 20 years.
Thank
How do
you.
you feel about that?
I'm kind of in shock that it's been 20 years. I actually told the story of how I won my audition on the podcast, the Violin podcast.
I
You
watched
can
that
check that
one.
out through my website. You go to the link in the bio, and there's a little button that says Lynn KUO on the Violin podcast, so you can listen to my interview. And if you get on my mailing list, and you can do that by visiting my website, and you click on top 5 spiccato mistakes, watch the video, you'll get on my mailing list, and I tell the story. And Walter, I know you read the story, but I have more stories from the last 20 years that I'm going to be slowly sharing with my email list. So wait for that. The next story you're going to get is called Hamlet and a Gun Shooting.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So there is a question. Would you please give some advice about Vivaldi A minor, third movement, the second page? That's it's pretty
Specific.
um,
The very
uh,
specific. I'm not sure what the advice would be. So I
yeah, what
have
exactly the advice it is. In
sluggish.
general, when
Oh, Magdi says, how can I get rid of the sluggishness in my right hand? Sluggishness in the right hand? Well, I think, um,
it's in the sluggishness, get rid of the sluggishness in my left hand.
yeah, that's our left
It's
hand.
more the left hand. Okay.
Well, I think you could practice in rhythms
Mm-hmm.
so that you're combining notes together, like, I don't know. So you can really lift the fingers really quickly. So you're really practicing lightness and quickness. And so if you start building things into chunks, groups of notes, then you start, or even if it's a scale, I don't know, and then backwards, whatever the pattern or the scale is, I would recommend you start building, let's say, note groupings. This is what Nathan Cole teaches us. And I'm studying with Nathan right now. So note groupings are in 2s and 3s, and you can combine them in 4s. In 2s would be in 3s.
Yeah.
So you're trying to build a little bit of rapidity in your finger motion, finger action. Yeah.
In the past, our teachers will tells us to do the tapping technique. I don't know,
Tapping.
have you ever the tapping technique? So it's the sluggishness can be removed when you tap.
Oh, I like that.
Why? Because it activates the jumping, the hopping of your finger, so it becomes very articulated.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
And practically the sluggishness in this left hand, please add what just Dr. Lin exactly said about practicing on rhythms and how fast in groups, and also if you can just do the tapping, it helps a lot. It helped me at least.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
probably other musicians, because we call the lazy finger.
Yeah.
Like you have the feeling that the bow is before the finger, and the finger sometimes is before the bow, bowing, the making sound. So this probably will make it. Yeah. And then just get rid of the tapping because it's going to be listening by the audience. It's
True.
not
And you don't ever want to build too much tension either.
Yes,
You want to
either,
keep the
yes.
action. Yeah, you want to drop
Yeah.
fingers, and
Yeah,
as soon as they hit the fingerboard, you want that finger to be relaxed. So it's
Yes.
never pushing and holding.
Pushing, yes, never
It
pushing. It's
almost
just,
as if you're dropping the finger from this base knuckle, drop, and then as soon as it hits the fingerboard is like rubber, so that it boing. You're never holding the tension. It's relaxed,
yes.
relax,
Yeah.
relax, relax. Yeah.
The idea is just to make articulation more
Yes.
clear.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Exactly.
I assume that's the question also.
I hope so. I hope so. Shall we answer some of the other questions, unless they're not here?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we had a few people submit questions. Thank you. And the first question I got was from Nuria Violin.
Okay.
Best string for practice in your experience. So I'm assuming the brand of strings that I use, is that what I'm thinking? Here, I have.
It's probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I have been using Eva Parazzi Golds for decades, long time. This is my favorite string, brand of string. I feel like it produces way more overtones on my instrument compared to any other string that I've tried. So I've stuck to this brand forever. I can't even remember when I last used a different string decades ago. So that's the answer to that question.
About the string set, some of my personal experience with my instruments was that one of my instruments cannot handle the other type of string set. For
Really?
instance, yes, for instance, this violin, I put a dominant something, no, this is Pirastro Eudox.
Oh, Eudoxo? Okay.
Eudoxa with a silver and gold E string, you know, and it does a great job. I tried to set up on this specifically, this violin, dominant, low tension. Whenever you look for a string set, make sure it's a low tension.
Oh, really? For you?
Yes, yes, medium or low tension, because affect the pressure over the bridge. And that causes sometimes the buzzing or the so-called wolf tone, you know, that's so. If you don't want that, you just look for medium or low tension. And my violin does not get along very well with Eva Perazzi or dominant. So I needed to put Pirastro Eudox, and it started working just perfectly.
Oh,
my other violin did not get along with this one. So I needed to put the dominant or Eva Perazzi to the other one. So it's also the instrument. You have to know how good your instrument can resonate with the string set. Sometimes every instrument is quite different.
That's very true. Every instrument is different, and that's why I found what works on my instrument. I see a question from Lu and Hui. All right, can you describe what an overtone is? Okay, so
an overtone.
Overtone. So basically, when you have something that's vibrating, a string that's vibrating. What you hear is the fundamental pitch, which is G. But anything that's over it, you're going to hear so any instrument that is a better quality instrument will enable more of the vibrations of those particular pitches. Any of these overtones, which are part of the harmonic series, overtone series. So when you have a really good, when you're listening to sound quality in particular, so let's say you're playing an open string, or let's say you're playing a G. If it's perfectly in tune, you're going to enable the vibration of any other sympathetic string, like this one, and you're going to activate. Do you hear, I don't know if you can hear. It's still humming a little bit. So what you're hearing is the continual vibration, and these are activating overtones in the string. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah.
Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay, shall we go to another question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, this is okay. I don't know if Demetra is here. This is for the tiny violinist. This is a funny question. How do you plan your day? Right now I'm in a very relaxed mode, so I don't really plan my day rigidly. Some things are very much in the calendar, like meetings like this. This is in my calendar. Zoom meetings are in my calendar. I have an orchestra rehearsal on Friday, so those are in my calendar. I have karate at night on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so those are in my calendar. But I would say my days are pretty flexible. Usually I give myself a slow morning, and then I usually do a lot of computer work during the day. I've been working on my website, so if you haven't seen my website, go ahead and look at it because I've been working really hard at it, building all the content. And then I usually reserve my brain power for the evening to practice. And I'm getting ready for my recital coming up. So that's what I'm doing in the evenings. And then sometimes I will go out and do errands. But yeah, mostly the daytime is meant for phone calls, errands and phone calls and computer stuff, meetings. And then later in the day was a bit quieter as my practice. So that's a general plan for my day. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
What do you do, Walter? You've got a lot of students that you
Well, what I do is I have a usual normal morning with a coffee, and then even my coffee is down there. I'm just hiding it. And then around 10 o'clock, I come to practice for 2 to 3 hours with intermission. Each hour there is 20 minutes intermission. And so I get around 3 hours, sometimes more, and that's all for. I don't try to overload with practicing. Lots of young musicians, they want to be very good and everything, but practicing longer does not make you a better musician. And right? So the quality time and the quality of work makes you a better musician. So yeah, I have 3 hours, and then I go and do errands or having students, and that's all. Nothing special. I do work also computer work, chores, and homework, so I can prepare my lessons for my students next day.
Cool. Well, I have a few more questions. Okay, so let's see. Waiting on Vassar. Hi. Do you have any drills slash exercises to improve slash create rhythm in your bowing? I'm wondering if you mean to create more dexterity in your right hand for rhythms.
Yeah, probably. Do you have any drills, exercise to improve rhythm in your
Rhythm.
bowling?
What does that mean exactly?
He's probably trying to say that if we have a melody running, how do we implement, how we actually make possible to feel the little sense of rhythmus in a tempo. That's probably what he's trying to say, but it's made in a bow.
So I wonder, drills and exercises.
That's how I understand. I might probably not be
I'm not.
right.
Could you clarify that? I don't want to answer a question that makes no sense to you. So maybe if you could just rewrite the question so we understand. Let's go to the next question here. Mehdi, how can I produce a refined, penetrating, powerful, edgy sound out of my violin? In Iran, there is no proficient and skillful violin teacher, unfortunately. So basically, sound production is based on three basic bow variables. And actually, you could actually go to my YouTube tutorial. What's it called? Five ways to improve your sound on YouTube. And I talk about 5 variables: VAPPS, vibrato, bow angle, point of contact, pressure of the bow, and speed of the bow. So that's VAPPS would be my answer to creating the refined, penetrating, powerful, edgy sound. So maybe this is basically a combination of those 5 things: 3 bow variables plus bow angle and vibrato. So I would say penetrating and powerful. It sounds like you want to go closer to the bridge or something, and slower. So this would be a slower bow, a little bit more. You have to feel out the pressure. Obviously that's too much, but generally closer to the bridge will get you a bit more edgy. And with that, you have to monitor how much pressure you need. Usually this part of the contact point 1 right there can handle a bit more pressure than here. That doesn't like it, but it's okay there. So this is no vibrato. I'm adding pressure now. And then I'm also intensifying the vibrato by adding amplitude. So a wider amplitude of vibrato, narrow. So you can hear how as I widen the amplitude of my vibrato, to me that is trying to intensify the sound. As I intensify the sound, then I'm going to slowly add a gradual amount of pressure. Now I would say that's quite a bit heavier with my bow pressure. So that's my answer to producing a more edgy sound out of the violin. I think I answered the question. Yeah. Thanks for that question. Okay, so okay, this is another, why are long hours not good for practice? Okay, Walter, you want to answer that question?
Okay, but you can also help here. Because of what I know, your doctoral specialty is about physiological and psychological, expression in music, right?
Okay, so, well, I'll tell you what I think. Long hours, I personally don't practice 5 hours a day. I don't. I spend more time on the computer working than I do on the violin, unfortunately. Fortunately or fortunately. Long hours means that you may not be using your mind efficiently or your body efficiently. So when you practice, like this whole Ling 40 hours is a joke. We all know it's just a laughing, lighthearted joke. It's not necessary to practice longer to be better. In fact, it wears your body down and it wears your mind down. Are you actually focused when you're practicing longer hours? That is the more important factor when you practice. How much are you getting done in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour or 2 hours? That's the more important thing, not whether you hit a 4-hour mark or a 5-hour mark. I used to do that when I was preparing for an audition. I kept a spreadsheet, logged every single minute, how many minutes I spent on working on a certain excerpt. And then I was so happy when I hit 4 hours that day or 5 hours a day. But you know what happened? I was exhausted. And I exhausted myself before the audition. And if you do that every single day, does that really help you at all? I don't think so. So I think it's really important to structure your practice so that you're really efficient. And I did cover this in my How to Practice Like a Ninja workshop, which I gave out for free in June. It was a 3-day workshop. And for those of you who were there, it was a lot of fun. And let's see, I will be creating some more, actually a new workshop, new ninja workshop. So stay tuned for that information, because I will be releasing How to Be a Musical Ninja workshop. So that's going to build on the practice tools that I taught in the ninja workshop, and basically how to be more efficient. So practicing longer is not great. Practicing more efficient is way better. So I would say, if you're going to be practicing, the first thing you need to know is, what are you working on at that moment? From any given moment, anytime you pick up the instrument, can you challenge yourself to say, am I listening for intonation? Am I observing the knuckles? Am I observing the bow contact? Choose one thing to focus on. To me, if you choose one variable to work on, you're creating a bit more efficiency, because you're able to address one issue at a time. The brain can only really address one issue at a time. So I find that when you practice in this way, you can't really last for very, very long. You can't go 3 hours like that. Right? Yeah, you agree, Walt, right?
I can add to this. I can add to this to all of the musicians, and I used to, kind of overwork, and then my teachers told me, do not do that, because you're wearing off your muscle system. It's like a muscle memory. First of all, your brain needs to memorize the structure. Second, the sound. Third, it has to have this touch physical memory, like a seal, like a stamp. If I overdo, sometimes it slips off your mind. So you start redoing your stuff instead of graduating, and growing over the things you have already done. It's like a building up a house. You know, you don't stump it up, the thing's over. You know, it's not a house. You build layers over layers to get to the point, right? So even sometimes my teachers, I see lots of my friends, they will practice 2 hours technical etudes and scales. This is very wrong. With due all my respect, don't do that. My old teachers, who most of them were students to great violinists in the past, like David Oistrakh, Leonid Kogan, Serge Blanc, Georgian Eskov. Even one of my teachers is a student to Karl Flesch, the one that we have the book. So they will never do that. What I actually will say, okay, what do we have today? I have Mendelssohn concerto. Okay. And then they will say, can you do just a little, so it's in E minor. And then we'll say, okay, do the E minor scale. Right? So your finger should like be prepared for your next upcoming material. So we have a Bach, you know. Then, okay. So why? It's all about how you structure your hand. But it's not good for you to do scale D sharp minor and then you go to play Bach in G minor. Your hands are not exactly physically prepared for it. And once in a sudden you said, I play terribly. I've done this trick as well, and I also played terribly. So, this is a good point, that my teachers will always give you a scale that is the same major or minor as your upcoming material.
That's true. That you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? It's good.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I hope that answers Mehdi's questions too. Please give some very practical advice. That's practical advice. So whatever piece you're doing, start to practice your technical exercises in the same key. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have another question here I want to answer this question from Addie Funderburg. Yes. Hi, Addie. I hope you're watching this in the replay. She says, hi, what is the name of your chin rest? So I have just put on, it was a while ago, I put on a new chin rest. Cradle violin chin rest. And you're going to see on my YouTube channel very soon in the near future, me with an unboxing video of that chin rest. Before that, I had a Flesch chin rest, which I had for many, many years. Hold on, let me get it. There it is. I had this one on. This is a Flesch model, and I have this for decades, long. But yeah, this one for the cradle is fully adjustable, and I'm still tinkering with it, so you can actually rotate.
Wow.
The angle. You can change the height. You can change. I don't know if you can see.
Yes, I can see it.
You can exchange that post, and now I put it on the lowest setting, even though it's a side mount. This used to be a center mount. This is a side mount. It still quite resembles a center mounted chin rest. I'd say I'm still getting used to it. I don't know if I love it. And you'll see that in my YouTube video. So stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel. Yeah, so this one with the Flesch, I thought when I first saw this, see the bump?
Yes.
I thought that does not look comfortable. How could that possibly be comfortable? But you know what? I've had it for 20 something years and it's very comfortable. So yeah. Yeah. So let's see, any other questions?
Which violin method is...
Oh, violin method, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which violin method is used by very young violinista like Chloe Choa and Tanya Zhou? Their playing is unbelievable. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know those violinists, so I don't know. You'll have to ask them. You'll have to ask them.
I'd probably suggest you start from something more simple. There are many worldwide known methodical exercises and programs that you can start. And Yeah, this is
I think you
Leopold.
have good training. I think you have
Yeah, Leopold Hour is one of the best. Probably you don't know. Leopold Hour is contemporary to Johann Joachim.
hmm
He's teacher to Yaisha Heifetz. So Leopold Hour is great. Also Milstein is really good. Yaisha Heifetz system is good. Carl Flesch is good.
Yeah.
Shivori,
Lewis,
system of
Lewis,
Shivori is really good.
yeah.
Also, the top performers are, you know, you can learn from everyone
Yes.
that can give you some clues and ideas. It's based on the physical appearance, also on the hand structure. Some people are short and with the small hands. The other, like me, 6 feet tall. They're, you know, my violin looks like a small toy. A few a few weeks ago, there was this person and asked me, "Excuse me, is this a full-size violin?" And I said, "Yes, it is a full-size violin."
You're just a big
So
person.
yeah, because I'm with a large, you know, you can see I'm with a large, and she's literally just like this small. And is this a real size, you know, full-size violin? Yes. So it was funny. So you
That is
can guys get everything that it's good from everyone. Believe me.
Yeah, I agree with that, Walter. I agree. Hi, Nazir. Run your journey. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. My pleasure. Our pleasure. Hi,
No?
Hanna Sisipovic. Yeah. Hello, Ahmad Mirzai. Hello, Marie Medel. Oh, gosh. Mehdi, thanks for the response. You're welcome. And
Yeah.
BEMH. Hi. Hello, Darcinto. Hi, Mesam Rezai in hard time pronouncing. Hi, Jose. Um, okay, let's see. Let's see what else. That involves having a balanced weight on your bow. But how can I get that quality? Get that sense. So maybe I would recommend you go to my YouTube channel, 5 ways to
Yeah.
improve your sound, and learn about how you can uh, mix and match all of the different properties, different variables that you can play with to create sound. You're going to have to experiment with the combination of pressure, right, or light pressure, contact point between here and here, speed, right, and also bow angle, right? Clearly that doesn't make good sound, and
Yes.
vibrato. So I would recommend you go to that video. It's in, so what you can do, just hit the link in my bio. Literally, there is a button somewhere. I have a whole bunch of buttons. Just look for 5 ways to improve your sound. It's right there. Yeah. Hossein, hi
If we
from
go,
Iran. Love your songs. Oh, thank you, Hossein. Farid, Bibi Johnny, hi. Hey, Cheryl. How's it going?
there is a question. I love the idea of preparing the key of the piece you are going to practice. Do you advise also to practice the related keys that appear in that piece?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, I do recommend. For instance,
Hey, Raven. Thanks for that question.
for, for instance, if you're, let's just say we are doing G major, okay? Let's just say this, and then I go always do minor, or and their harmonics, melodic minors, you know, augmented and diminished forms as well.
Oh,
So
really?
that actually gives you a lot.
That
Yeah,
does.
I would recommend you to continue with the keys and their versions, you know, either minors or majors. Yeah.
Raven, you're an incredible violinist. What do you do? I bet you have an answer for that. Raven is an incredible violinist.
Whom?
Um,
Pardon?
Raven, who asked that question, he's an incredible violinist.
Yeah.
I think he would better to answer that question rather than ask the
Yeah,
question.
right. I mean, he probably needed another opinion as yours and mine.
So, hi everybody who's joining in. Oh my gosh, Muhammad, hi. My viola journey, hi. Majid, hello. JM950, hi. Hello, Maxime.
Thank
Hello,
you.
Bud. Hello, Cedric. Hello, SJIE. Hello. Hi, Arie Kafzan. Mamad, thanks. You're welcome. Hi, Murray099. Hello, Elena Rubino, musicienne. Oh, I love the French in that. Okay. Yes, check my YouTube, Mehdi. So there's tons. I have a whole bunch of tutorials, and I got more coming out. I got one on string crossings that is in the works. Just edit. It's in editing mode now, and the unboxing of the cradle chin rest, that's going to be in editing mode as well. So yeah, there's more YouTube videos coming out. I have yeah, how to be a musical ninja workshop coming. I still haven't announced it, but it's coming, and my boot camp is coming too in January. So yeah, get on the wait list if you're interested to study with me. I've got 6 guests. Ooh, did I leave that out? I've got a whole bunch of guests coming. Yeah.
What would you tell us, Dr. Lynn, about preparing for a concert?
Preparing for a concert?
On more like mental, psychological level, you know, what do you do to relax? I mean, how do you fight the stage fright? I mean, how do you overcome? I mean, there is a very important, you know, concert and everybody's freaking out and you're the soloist. So what do you do to overcome the stage fright and the fears? And what do you do, basically? What is your routine to relax? Because lots of my friends say, okay, do you feel scared? Do you feel nervous? Do you feel like insecure? And I said, well, sometimes yeah, but sometimes no. Depends on the level, you know.
Okay, so I mentioned
how do you deal with the stress?
So yeah, I teach some of these concepts in my boot camp in a class that I lead called Peak Performance. So first of all, there's a few things that we have to remember before you go into a concert. Being nervous is oftentimes seen as an enemy. So the number one thing to consider before you enter into a concert, competition, anything that makes you nervous is the number one rule. Or the number one thing to remember is nerves are normal. N-A-N, let's call it N-A-N. Nerves are normal. So don't ever think that nerves are something you have to fight or nerves are something you have to be to eliminate. Okay, so the answer to the question that your friends have asked, what do you do if you're nervous about this thing? Well, first of all is to know that N-A-N, nerves are normal, and part 2 of that is to accept it. Now, part 2 of this answer is, if you would like to reduce the amount of jitters that you get, the amount of anxiety that you feel, the best way to do so is proper and thorough preparation. If you're not prepared for the concert, your nerves are going to be very, very high, right? We all know that. So that's the thing. Nerves are normal, but to reduce the amount of, let's say, debilitating nerves that you experience, or stage fright or performance anxiety, is to be as prepared as possible. So time management is one component of that. Are you planning enough preparation time? Okay, and part of that preparation time involves incorporating mock performances early on. So again, this is just a little fraction of what I teach in my course, in my class, in my boot camp. Yeah. So incorporating and almost forcing yourself to get into get into situations that simulate your concert, simulate your performance experience. And I know with COVID, we're all usually online and not in person anymore. So I would suggest you could start scheduling mock performances for friends online, video chat. You can even do it on Instagram Live if you really wanted to. In fact, that's what I do in my boot camp. A part of the emphasis of me teaching in my violin boot camp is to help violinists become more fearless, whether it's in life or whether on the stage. Similar approach. I have a similar approach to both. And as you know, I study karate, and I get a lot of this philosophy from studying the martial arts. You apply fearlessness to your instrument, and that means when you're shaking, when you're nervous, N-A-N, nerves are normal, but my favorite motto now is feel the fear and do it anyway. It is going to feel uncomfortable. You are going to be nervous, you are going to shake a little bit, and that is absolutely perfectly normal. Now, do as many mock auditions as you possibly can to get yourself accustomed to those shakes. That is my number one advice. And if you want more advice on this topic, I tell you a fantastic way to get this advice for free is through my YouTube channel. Again, just go to the link in my bio. You go right to the bottom, and there's Violin Chats Episode 6, an interview that I did with Dr. Don Green. He is a world-renowned peak performance psychologist. He was a former Olympic diving coach and coached the U.S. Olympic diving team, and now works with the top elite classical musicians preparing for auditions and competitions around the world. So if you want more advice on stage fright and performance anxiety, peak performance, I would go straight to Dr. Don Green.
I strongly advise every one of you to visit Dr. Lynn's YouTube channel, as well as you may feel free to ask any questions either on our Instagram accounts or through different social media services such as emails or different ways through websites. So feel free to do so. Dr. Lynn, would you recommend musicians to practice on the day of their performance?
On the day of? Well, that depends on your personality. Personally, I do. If you need to relax more than you need to practice, then by all means do so, and then do some gentle warming up. But if your method of practicing is going super hardcore and exhausting yourself, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. No.
Okay.
Don't exhaust yourself on the day of the performance. If you're like me, where you need some reassurance, go ahead and practice things slowly or calmly. That's a better word. Calmly.
What is most important during performance? Is it to perform absolutely every single tone and note absolutely to the slightest imperfection, or there is a moment of improvisation, live improvisation, to where you make your performance a little bit more free, more like leggero, more ad libitum?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's funny. I think I remember hearing Hilary Hahn say that she practiced so that everything was choreographed. I believe that's what I remember hearing her say herself, that she practiced until every single note of the concerto was, every shift, every vibration of every note was rehearsed and choreographed so that it would not fail under pressure. But I do think spontaneity is important, and if you can feel that freedom, that's ideal. I mean, it's easier said than done, right? It's easier said than done. I think it depends on how prepared you are with the piece. If you're super prepared, then I think there is room for spontaneity.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the more repertoire.
I personally believe as a conductor that many times we perfect completely, because I've worked with Gewandhaus, Dresden orchestras, quite big orchestras, Florence orchestra, and we are working hard on a certain piece by Beethoven, Brahms, whatever symphony. And then in the concert, the mood is different, and sometimes we improvise on the moment. We change slightly things, to fit in the mood, to fit on the emotion, to the state of your spirit. So I do believe that that is probably a virtue or something that a very high-level musician can do while they're performing their concerts. Because not everything, Rachmaninoff would say that the music is actually not the notes themselves, but the sound that is between them. So the space between the notes, it's actually the real music.
Isn't that based on a quote from Debussy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, so I have
thank you, Music Raven. Thank you. Yeah, I do believe I see interesting. Thank you very much for your nice comment. Okay.
I personally play all scales, major and minor once, sometimes focusing on melodic intonation. Yeah, sometimes harmonic, okay, sometimes different aspects, but I tend to play all keys. Wow, Raven, wow. I find that, Raven also says, I find that helps my hand to be prepared for anything I encounter in my repertoire. Yeah, Raven, you've got an amazing left hand. I've seen you play. You're amazing. Just a second here. Darcinto Perez. Hi, Violin Quo. Just started off about a year now. I haven't seen your videos yet, but do you have a learning program for freshers? I mean, is that meaning beginners? No, unfortunately, no, I don't have a beginner. I don't specialize in teaching beginners, unfortunately.
Here, there is a very nice question from Hamidreza Parsian. Hi, which edition of Bach Sonaten and Partitan is the best? Well, I would strongly suggest the Urtext, Berenreiter. But there is one other that I have through different channels. I eventually find it out. It's one of my first teachers, violin teachers, was student to George Enesco and Serge Blanc. So if you look for one of the best top level of how to perform Bach sonatas and partitas, are their edition. Why? Because George Enesco and Serge Blanc were the ones to take the urtext that is being preserved by Bach, and most of their writings or notes written on the score are coming directly as recommendations from Bach. So I have this here. You can see it. You can see the edition. That's the full edition with an educational goal by, Serge Blanc and George Enesco. So this is something very rare. It's almost never you can find on the stores.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a chance to find that, you can see exactly you can see a small explanations to everyone, like a small preface, and you can also see fingering that George Enesco has done, that actually Bach implied in his letters how to perform his sonatas. You may probably see the differences in tempo, and sometimes they play this pretty fast or pretty slow, but it's not what Bach wants. So Bach does not actually want here a small stuff for fugue. Lots of people play the fugue, pam 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 tira-dam pam 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 pam. That's the fugue actually that I'm talking about. They play it over 100 or 110, but actually Bach never intended to. So the original tempo is quarter 76 or 77. So pam 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 tita tam pam 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 pam, and it gives a really insights to where you can practice and how to do the chords and how to do the double stops. It's something that is unique. So I strongly suggest every one of you find this edition because it's one of the most closest to the original notes Bach required.
That's
In
cool.
his
Could you
language.
type that into the comments? Because I actually don't know that edition at all.
Yes.
It's reversed, Walter, so you're going to have to type it in for us to see.
Okay, I will type that.
Yeah. Hey, MVMTC. Hey, you're Christian, right? How's it going? You want us to play Bach, Chaconne, or Sibelius? Boy. I just going to scroll back for 1 second. Hey, Raven. Raven says, but perhaps a less, let's see, did I miss something from Raven here? Okay, yeah. But perhaps a less all-round approach and a more specific approach, because then you can also practice double stops and arpeggios. Thanks for the idea. I am definitely going to experiment with this. And thank you both very much for this live stream. You're welcome. All right. Okay, well, before I get into this Bach, Chaconne, or Sibelius, I may not do it, but maybe I will entertain that. There's one more question from Karina. Kari Violin. Hi. Hope you're watching the replay. Practice from a good vibrato. Again, I have 2 whole tutorials that I took the time to film, and they're on my YouTube channel. So again, I think it's easier instead of me going through all these little things again. I think it's easier if you just go to that YouTube link. You go to my bio, and you'll see lynnkuo.com, and you'll see a whole bunch of buttons, and you'll find vibrato, top 5 vibrato mistakes and 7 best vibrato exercises. They're both on my YouTube channel. I spent a lot of time thinking about them and filming them. So for that question, I think that's the best answer. Oh, okay. So Walter, you have here George Enesco shares Serge Blanc. Okay, cool. Oh, hey, Marcos. Oh my gosh. Marcos is an incredible bass player. When learning a specific technique, such as staccato, jeté, etc., do you prefer short exercises, etudes, of using passages from the repertoire, or a combination? Staccato, jeté. Do you prefer short exercises, etudes of using passages from the repertoire? Um,
It could be combination.
yeah.
Sometimes your right hand um, reacts differently when it's exercise, and you have the same staccato passage, plays in a concert, and your right hand completely changed, and you are wondering what is going on with my hand. I just made this on this etude, and now it doesn't happen in the concert. So I do believe that you have to combine both the etudes with the small exercises, not overwhelming, not too much pressure, that can more relate to the material you are performing.
I agree, Walter. That's a really good question, Marcos. And yeah, Walter, I agree with that answer. I think I do a combination because sometimes I feel like working on the etudes and then you transfer it over to the repertoire, it doesn't feel the same. So sometimes
Yes.
you have to do it inside of the repertoire because it's very specific to that particular sequence of pitches. And then say it's a, I don't know, like a particular thing inside the pitch. I don't know. Let's
Yeah, you're very right. It's a sequence of pitches, because
right.
sometimes the tones are different and the positioning of your left hand is different. The body is
Yeah,
different, and your right hand also reacts differently, acts
yeah. So
differently.
I think practicing that little passage in the repertoire is very helpful. But you know what? The function of studying that, let's say, particular bow stroke in a complete etude, I think the etude forces you to go through so many different permutations that it's basically like cross training. You're
Yeah.
training that particular stroke with so many combinations of pitches, so that it's forcing you to go into pitches that you're not comfortable with, pitch combinations, right? But
Yeah.
Marcos, you'd be able to teach us too. You're an incredible bass player. Um, yeah. Okay, so shall I attempt to play some of the Bach Chaconne or the Sibelius? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll play a little bit of Chaconne just for the opening. And bear in mind, I have not played this in, I don't know, 20 years. Hey, you know what? I actually played the Bach Chaconne for my National Ballet audition 20 years ago. So maybe that's how long it's been. I'll play a tiny bit, just for fun, just for kicks. And I wish it wasn't reversed on Instagram camera. Okay, that's enough
That's
because I'm practicing.
wonderful.
I'm gonna
Tell
ruin
me,
it.
how do you clean and perform clean double stops? Bach is famous with lots of double stops, fifth, perfect fifths, and perfect fourth, thirds here and there. So, what do you do to clean that up?
Well,
It's a hardship for
yeah,
everyone musician when start and doing double stops.
double
So,
stops.
what
Well,
is your
okay.
secret?
So, okay, let's just take the beginning. So, I'm listening for tartini tones, which I talked about in a previous Q&A.
Yep.
Well, first of all, I'm going to tune the D to the open, any open string resonance. So we're talking about back to that question of overtones. I'm going to see the resonance of my own instrument compared to the stopped note. I tune that, and so I'm happy with that. So I'm basically positioning my hand so that it's balanced over the fourth finger instead of, let's say, balancing my hand on the first finger and then reaching. I want to balance my hand on the D first. Get that in tune. then I add, then from there, you're asking how do I to work on that double stop. I'm listening for the B flat. That's a Tartini tone that I'm aiming for. It's more difficult to hear it on lower strings. Now then, I'm gonna make sure that's in tune here, and that's not quite in tune. So I'm gonna lower that. There. So let me try that again. And the Tartini tone that I'm hearing on the major third, F and A. Let me play it louder.
That's a very actually wonderful exercise. This is actually very good. It's a great idea how to practically start from the lower tone, you know, positioning your hand from your actually lower tone, but, you know, pinky position, and then you just fall down the other set of finger, which is I haven't heard this before from other teachers. They usually goes this way. They don't. Yeah, they go from this way, you know.
Oh no,
then,
that would strain the hand. If you're if you're
yes, they will strain the hand. Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to strain your hand. If you're playing triple stops, definitely position the notes that are on the higher fingers, so it's like the pinky, and then reach back. So if I were doing this, oh, that's right, it's out of tune. I would not start here. I would start here.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how I would start to find that double stop. Yeah.
My teachers will actually tells me something different. It's so-called the fifth system, the system on fifth, which a while ago one professor in UK in the Royal Academy spoke about playing in fifth. And actually, my old teachers, they will do the same, and they will take their violin. And since Bach is full of fifths, they will tell you, make sure that you have the fifth as a scale perfectly clean. So practically in this way, I have my fifth clean and my octave clean. When this is clean, now you can hear even the overtones.
Yeah, there's a lot of resonance from your pitch. Yeah.
And Bach has lots of fifths, and they just fall right on the spot, you know. So that's how we were taught. But it does help your hand actually to fix right on the spot.
No?
Yes, it does help.
Oh, it does help. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense. Yours are really in tune. So let's just
pardon?
Quickly. Yours are really in tune.
Oh, thank you, though. Yours too.
Hello, Peter Bilge. Hi. And bravo from Christian. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. Amin. Yes. Thank you, all these comments. Thank you for all these highs. And who doesn't love Bach? Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Raven. Beautiful, Lynn. Love the pure intonation. Okay, well, thank you for that compliment. I don't know if it was very pure, but because I adore Bach. Yes, who doesn't? Mohammed, I don't have the music for Vivaldi, so I'm sorry, I can't answer your question for that. And MVMTC, Christian says, double stops and multiple chords are the only aspect of strings that flutists envy. Yeah, you guys have to, flutists have to roll those chords, don't you? Julia's here. Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Hi, Deborah. Okay, Julia's probably gonna make me do whistle voice on camera. Julia's my soprano friend. She's an amazing soprano and educator.
I have a question also. To what extent the pressure of the bow should be consistent with the speed to produce a soft, warm, and rounded sound?
Soft, warm, and rounded sound?
Yes. I mean, So what is the cause between the speed and pressure of the bow?
Okay, so usually the further out your contact point, so 5, contact point 5, so 1, 3, and 5. Usually the furthest point of contact will require lighter pressure and a greater amount of speed. It can handle a lot of speed. But if I apply that same light pressure and same speed here at contact point 1, right? And I talk about all this in my YouTube video. So you want light, warm, and round. I mean, the closer I get to the bridge, the more pressure it can take.
Yeah.
So my contact point's a little closer here because my bow speed has slowed down. So when you slow the speed down, usually you have to bring it a little closer to the bridge. So I'm very close to the bridge because my bow is slow here. Now here, I'm willing to go faster, so I move my contact point out further to the 4 and 5. And then I move it closer here because my bow is slower. And here, a very contact very close to the bridge. Yeah.
Does sometimes the speed is more important when you bowing, you know, up and down bow than the pressure over the bow? What I mean by that is the tone attack. Can you understand what I'm trying to say? Sometimes the speed accelerate the pressure.
The speed.
But you don't use too much pressure over your bow.
Well, I mean, the pressure and the speed are relative to each other. So when you adjust one, the other has to respond, right? So, and that you have to feel and just feel it out. So slow, more pressure, but I'm not changing speed. So it tells me, right? I'm not changing speed, I'm just changing pressure. And I'm maintaining the same contact point, right? Right here. Same pressure, sorry, same speed.
Same speed.
Changing pressure. Let's try this contact point. Same speed. It likes it there. Add some pressure. Take away some pressure. It teaches me, right? It's telling me. Yeah. I just have to pay attention.
It's more about what I wanted to ask is when we play Haydn, we have small accents, you know, the accent in Haydn is the same as the accent in Beethoven or accent in Brahms or an accent in Shostakovich music, right? So so when we play early classical music or close to Beethoven, how do we deal with the accents, which at the time were not common practice? So shall we just use pressure over the bow like Shostakovich, or we should just use speed instead?
Oh, okay. So that's a question about style.
Yep.
So you're right. The accents in all these different styles and different composers will not be executed the same way technically with the bow. You're right. So you're right. Shostakovich, I would probably do more pressure.
Pressure.
Martellet, right? Something like that. Let's say Brahms I would do more of a cushioned bow with more vibrato, left hand accent. What's a I don't know. I can't think of anything Brahms. Oh yeah. it really depends on the context. So to have a variety of ways you can produce accents, whether it's martelé, collé, low speed, vibrato, there are different ways. So I think you have to do a lot of listening and get some good guidance from teachers. You're right. You have to pull out all of those different things. Yeah.
Someone
So,
wants to play Wieniawski. What?
Vinyasa. Okay,
There
this
is
is the
something
last
by
thing because I
Wieniawski.
think we're gonna hit our max now. This is gonna be the last thing.
This is
Nice.
from this is from the second concerto by
Yes.
Wieniawski. This is the Romance. Oh, the duetto. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Walter.
Oh.
I think we've answered all the questions. What do you think?
Yes, we did a great job. I do. I'm very honored and very happy to see you for our, second time today, and hope this will continue. We can do another session in the nearest future and all the foreseeable future. And thank you guys for coming here. And
Yeah, thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
Dr. Lynn, for the great. Please make sure you go and check on Dr. Lynn's Instagram account and link in the bio. So go and check her YouTube channel and website, especially. Those are incredible. I can tell by personal experience. I've read everything and I have listened. I have vast amount of her work. It's great to hear and learn so much from her. If you
Awesome.
also think and consider something good, you might also go and check on my Instagram as well. That will be wonderful. So,
Yay.
anything you may add to this, Dr. Lynn? What will
Uh,
you say to
Nothing to
young
add
musicians?
other than thanks to you, Walter, for hosting this, and thanks to everyone writing in comments. Even though if I'm not saying your name, I read all your comments. I can see them. Very nice with a heart. No, don't leave. I can see it. Beautiful, Adrienne. And you're welcome, LWI. I can't see these names. Thank you very
They
much,
said,
Peter.
yeah.
It was very interesting. Love it. Thank you, Peter, and YouTube channel. So go ahead, visit our Instagram handle accounts and follow us. And go into the link in my bio. I've got tons more in my website. Read my website. I've been working on it, and all my YouTube links are there. All my videos, all my interviews. You will get all the answers to your questions. We'll see you again.
See you again. Bye,
Thanks,
bye.
Walter. Have a great day,
Thank
everybody.
you, Lynn.